to another Stretch with Dave. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a longer one. We have our Band-Aid, and you can be using a towel or a sweater. It's just for the first exercise. And it is Mental Health Awareness Week this week. So, just remember that everybody does have mental health, for better or for worse sometimes. And mental health does not always equal mental illness, right? We all have mental health, just like we all have physical health. We all have a mind, just like we all have a body. The theme this year is This is Empathy. And what that is surrounding is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes to try to understand what they're going through. And that doesn't always have to mean solving their problems. That can just be listening. And the other thing I want to talk about is with, mental health awareness, we do know the science shows that physical health directly impacts mental health. So let's take care of our body, let's do some movement, and let's feel better. So we're going to start on the ground with our band hamstring stretch. So I'm starting with the band around my left foot. Just going to lay on my back. Leg is straight, toe is pointed towards my shin. And I'm just going to allow myself to move through this, keeping my legs straight, maybe getting a little bit more range of motion over time. Now we'll go out to the side, the outside, I'll say. Yeah, move at your own pace. This is very easily done with a resistance band, I'll say that. The towel and the sweater are a little bit trickier. We're going to cross the other side, but still very doable. Try to keep the shoulders on the ground as we come across the body. We'll go one more here. We'll switch sides. Switch sides. And we just repeat. Leg straight, toe point towards the shin. Move through this. Try to get a little bit more range of motion every time. You don't have to, though. Just chase that 6 out of 10 stretch. Go to the outside. Yeah, shoulders stay on the ground, hips stay on the ground. So my plan moving forward is to have a longer stretch video on Tuesday and a shorter one on Thursday. Get the best of both worlds, and we'll cross the body here again. Keep both shoulders on the ground. Leg is still straight, toe pointed still towards the shin. One more. Good. All right. We're going into our figure 4 stretch. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right, bring my right knee towards my chest, left hand through the hole, right hand through the outside, and then you just pull that knee towards the chest. If you have that towel band or sweater handy, you can wrap that through around the right leg instead of holding your leg with your hands. I always just find this one not so bad, but if you do lack that mobility, feel free. And we'll switch sides. So this is really nice following the band hamstring, because you might have felt that stretch in your hip abductors, which are located on the lateral side of the outside of your hips, near your glutes. And we were stretching that dynamically, and now, since it's a little bit warm, we're able to stretch it statically more effectively. This is really going to loosen and open up the hips, giving us some extra mobility and just helping us feel a little bit better. So our hip 90-90s are new. And how these ones work is I just have, so what I do is from this seated position. I'm going to put my left leg in front at 90 degrees, and then I'm going to get my right leg in the back at 90 degrees. And for just this week, we're just going to do this. There is more to this stretch, and you can try to get that right leg back a little further. But ideally, we want that 90-degree bend, 90-degree bend front. There is more to this, like I said, but we're going to introduce more next week. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with this before we add in the next step. The next step makes it a little bit more dynamic, but it is a little bit more complicated. And you can sort of move through this too. You can lean forward. I always find the stretch is deepest when I lean back. You can really feel that hip opening up. We'll switch sides. So again, from this sort of leg to front position, I cross my right leg, try to give you the best, this is probably the best. Right leg in front at 90, left leg behind at 90, and then again, I can move forward and back. Add a little bit of movement. Again, the back is, when you lean back, it's when you're really going to feel it in that hip opening up. Give you a little preview of what you're going to see next week. So essentially next week, when we do this, and if you want to practice this, is we're going to add in a step. So essentially, I'm going to go from this position, and I'm going to open into that half knee hip flexor, and back into that position, right? So again, you can practice this for next week, but essentially we're just swinging and swinging back, all right? So that's your preview for next week. We're going to go cat to cow here. So hips, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, arch the spine, tuck the chin, flatten the spine, bring the chin to neutral. Continue moving through that. Your own pace. Take your time to do a few deep breaths. Matching the breathing with the movement and thinking about what muscles you're using, what stretching is a great way to bring your mind into the equation. And we're going to go back into our child's pose. Reaching forward, hips are back. And then we shift our hips into the ground, lift our chest. So we're into the cobra, and we can just, again, move through this like we were moving cat to cow. All right. We're just going to go into some quick half knee hip flexors to further stretch those hips. More of that static stretch with my right leg. Exaggerated step forward. Left knee slightly behind my hip. I push the hips forward. Bring my left arm in line with my ear. If you want today, what you can do is whatever leg is down, you can just twist through the hips. It's not a big twist, 20 degrees, 15 degrees. Just to get some rotation in the spine. We're going to switch sides. Same thing. Push the hips forward. Right arm comes up this time since the right leg is on the ground. The right knee is on the ground. And then I just open up the outside. forward fold combo. Hinge from the hips, curl the hands down. And then as we stand up, pull back on the left fingers, arms overhead. You know this one well. Hips to the left, lean to the right. Hips to the right, lean to the left. Again. Hamstrings feel nice and warmed up, so this forward fold is feeling relatively easy. Pulling back on the right fingers. Two more times. Time pushing down on the left fingers, right? And last one of forward folds here. Pushing down on the right fingers this time if you didn't catch that. Alright, and then we're just going to go into some simple arm swings, so palms are up. Across the body, palms go down, and then I alternate which arm's on top. And just to get some movement through the chest, through the shoulders. I don't know what about you, but I'm feeling quite limber now throughout those first groups of stretches. But this certainly feels good on my shoulders and chest. Not a lot of shoulders and chest yet. A little bit of back too, right? You can squeeze the shoulder blades in the back as we open it up. Right? Get a little bit more of that full body movement. Because when you think about when you're seated at your desk, our shoulders are rounded forward, right? And our shoulder blades are forward. So if we use this opportunity, squeeze the shoulder blades to the back, just get a little bit more activation there. So I want to show you these dynamic triangles without the chair, and you can use a chair if you'd like. But right leg's forward, right hand supported on the right leg, and then I just use my left hand on the inside of my right knee, and I turn and open up this way. Just to show you that you don't need a chair or something fixed to do these. We can do these sort of dynamic triangles wherever. And you can even do the reverse, right? I just support myself, my left hand on my right leg. These are a little bit harder, right? The right arm just comes up, keeping your gaze on the hand. The left leg forward this time. Left hand. I'll do this one. See, is left hand on left leg, right hand on the inside of the left knee. I keep my eyes on my right hand as I open up. Do the reverse now. Right hand on the left leg, left hand on the outside. All right, our standing calf, I'm just going to use the couch here. You can use a wall, but I lean on something, take an exaggerated step back, and just allow that left feet or right heel to sit in the ground. If I want to make it dynamic, right, I can do more of like a pumping motion, where I let my heel press down. And play around with this, right? Like some people get a little more of a stretch when they're more vertical. Some people get more of a stretch when they take that exaggerated step back. Switch sides. Right ear to right shoulder, pulling down on the left hand. Again, this is not held very long. Switch sides. Left ear to left shoulder, pulling down slightly on the right arm. And we'll just finish it with some looking all the way down, all the way up, left, right, shake it out. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you haven't already, make sure you're sending in your pictures with you wearing green to our health and wellness Tabasco email. I can link that in the comments, or you can post your photos here and we can take them from here. But thank you as always for joining, and I will see you in the next video.